It is estimated there are some 10 quintillion aardman reviews, but forget about those, this is about mine. Oh, and this little fly as well. It's about time I talk about something aardman related. They're the quintessential British animation studio. Everyone knows them. Back in 2021 I saw an announcement post for a new show from them about insects. I thought it looked pretty cool and hey, it's a new older audience British cartoon. Those are getting rare nowadays. Created by Matthew Walker with co-director Jane Davies, the series released in September 2022 on CiTV, rest in peace, and completed its first run in January this year. So what is Lloyd of the Flies? Believe it or not, it's actually about a bug called Abacus. Yes, Abacus is the real star of the show.
Wow!
Okay, being serious. A fly called Lloyd goes through daily life with his best friend where anything can happen. Reading comics, getting kicked out of ant colonies, picking fights with children, and a lot of near-death experiences. And what's this? It didn't take me 3 million years to make another review. What can I say? Even in my weakened state, I'm still too powerful.
Michelangelo, Leonardo, Da Vinci, they're all dead. I remain!
Let's start with the characters. We'll start with the show's namesake, Llerd.
Morning, Llerd.
Voiced by Tom Resenthal, he's the middle child of 541 and lives with his parents, maggots, and little shit of a sister. His daily hobbies include reading comics, laying around, complaining, and being with his friend Abacus. Aside from that last part, pretty relatable.
Yes, it's gonna get done. It's a lot of work. I'm working up to it. You can't rush these things.
This is why I never post anything. He doesn't like being seen as wrong, even if it's so obvious that he messed up. Lloyd is kind of a dumbass, or at least says and does a lot of stupid things because of it. He has a habit of making elaborate plans and ideas of how he'll do something really well, rather than actually doing it. Not properly, anyway.
Oh, sounds important. I can do that. Doesn't sound very hard, though. You know I'm looking for hard work. Yeah, looks good.
And when you thought you'd lost Abacus?
That was nice.
No, I wasn't scared, PB.
Lloyd would be dead by now if it weren't for his main character powers. But you know what? We love him for it. The show's well written enough to the point where he never gets too annoying or unlikable. Mainly because everyone else in the show thinks he's an idiot as well. Plus, he's funny.
What? I don't believe it.
I'm sure they do care, Lloyd.
What?
They just don't realise what you've been through.
What? I missed breakfast!
Lloyd can be such a mood sometimes, he just can't be asked.
I must live my best life.
But where will you start?
I'm going to eat something sugary and read a comic.
Also, that big Lloyd episode with his big brother, it was so relatable. It reminded me of all those times my big cousins would come and visit me and judge all my things. They mean well though. His general Lloydness is contagious. He completely dismantled the ant's complex and structured system in mere minutes just by existing.
You were so right, Lloyd. Breaks are amazing. I'm way more ready to work hard now. Or soon-ish.
I was surprised to hear the show reference death so much. It happens really early on. But when you think about it, we squash and flick bugs on a daily basis, and there's millions of them. It's just par for the course. And hey, I ain't complaining, I like it.
I won't forget the twitch of your wings, or the way you laughed when I fell into the bath.
Abacus, why do you have a eulogy ready written for me?
I'd be too upset to write one after your death.
If your friend writes you a eulogy in advance, that's how you know they're the real ones, okay? I mean, if you look at their lifespans, can you really blame him?
Do you want to hear the rest of my eulogy?
No thanks.
He does have his good points too. Since he loves not being in the wrong, he has a big mouth that blabs a whole bunch of nonsense. And while that's normally to his detriment, he's good at wording his way out of tricky situations. And he comes up with good ideas on the spot as well. Granted, those moments are messes that Lloyd, and some others sometimes as well, got himself into in the first place, but he's not a complete lost cause. He can also be a really nice friend. The show is basically Lloyd acts like a dumbass, the show, and Abacus is also there as well.
Lloyd, I found a tasty crumb!
Ooh!
Now that we're on the topic, Abacus, voiced by Alex Lawther, he's Lloyd's best and only friend. He's a pure, gentle soul. His mere presence just brightens the mood of every scene he's in. He's so powerful.
We could open all the cupboards and then leave them open. I've never had this much of anything before, except love and acceptance from my family. So don't worry if you're all eaten. I'll tell everyone what happened.
Abacus and Lloyd's dynamic is so weird. Lloyd doesn't have anyone else that he's close with, mainly because no one's that fond of him, but he kind of treats Abacus like a servant. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but it's really codependent. He's completely useless without him.
I thought you wanted to prove you could work as hard as an ant, all by yourself.
Yeah, but not without Abacus. And he's not much help. Look at his little arms.
Oh, I'll bet it make a difference.
You are always here, Abacus. No offence.
But Abacus doesn't mind. I would say he puts up with it, but it seems like he completely enjoys it. He dedicates everything to Lloyd like he's the Lord and Saviour.
You okay, Lloyd?
He cares more about Lloyd's well-being than Lloyd does. And now that I think about it, he spends so much time with Llerd that I don't even think he sees his actual family that much. Some of the characters bring this up actually, it's quite funny.
Lloyd, you can't just sit on Abacus. He's your friend.
What? He offered.
I don't mind, Mrs. Lloyd.
But I know what he likes. He likes what I like.
Well, that's convenient.
Sorry Llerd, he is the best. Even the characters in show agree. See, look at this. When Lloyd moves house, no one notices, but when Abacus moves, everyone bids him farewell. The difference. Abacus idolizes Lloyd so much, it makes me wonder how they met. I bet he imagines it as a gift from the bug gods himself, like fate tied them. But in reality, Lloyd just asked him where the nearest crumb was, and the rest was history.
You're a real treat, Lloyd.
He is physically incapable of insulting him.
I can't do it! I can't think of a single bad thing about him!
Lloyd's so used to Abacus following whatever he says that the one moment he disagrees with him, it's like it's the end of the world. They actually got into an argument in the episode Knock Knock thanks to Lloyd's usual I'm always right mentality, and again in another episode where they tried moving in together but it didn't really work out.
I've helped you, haven't I? Wanted it outdoors? Well, fine. It's outdoors.
Happy now?
It's nice to see that Abacus has these different sides to him, even if it's not often. Despite their unusual dynamic, their friendship is actually really sweet. And whether you think it's deserved or not, I think it's nice how far Abacus goes for him. And Lloyd has times where he appreciates what he does as well. I love the Llerd comic episode. Lloyd's trust in Abacus is so deep that it's a genuine shock to both him and everyone else to find that he was the one that made that slanderous comic that made Lloyd look like an utter idiot, despite all the clues obviously pointing towards him as the author. The nerve.
Why did you make him so dumb?
And hilarious.
I didn't think I did.
This episode was so funny, definitely one of my favourites. It also works as a little recap for the first half of the show because it references previous episodes.
I only just learnt Lloyd's name, and even I'd not write a comic about how rubbish he is. But can I offer you a sponge cake for the sequel?
Evil Psycho Abacus is definitely plausible. Think about how much he'd snap if literally anything happened to Lloyd. He's holding back so much repressed emotion.
If I get eaten, PB, Abacus will never forgive you.
He's right, I won't.
Next up is PB. What can I say about her? Well, she's Lloyd's younger sister, or the only one that's pupated anyway, that tags along on some adventures whether or not Llerd likes it or not. And well...
I want to see dead things.
She likes violent biology, okay? She's very tasteful.
How badly are you injured? Tell me where it hurts.
By pupating live on stage.
Yes! I've got an idea. To go get a closer look while the bird is distracted. From here, we'll get to see everything. Everything.
I'm sorry, did they put me in this show?
Squirmy wasp larva wriggled and jiggled and tickled inside the very unfortunate caterpillar. And when they were big enough, they released paralyzing chemicals and...
PB is brilliant. She's the biggest little shit ever and I love her.
Dottie, if you're going to laugh at my brother, at least get his name right. It'll annoy him more.
Like in that one episode where Lloyd had to fight her friend's brother, who turned out to be a giant stag beetle. PB conveniently left out that information when she set up the whole event and made posters. She knew it was a stag beetle the whole time. She's on no one's side.
I'm not loyal.
Honestly, I feel like PB is actually a spider in a fly's body. If she really was a spider though, it's over, they're done, everyone's dead. The promotion of this show does not do her justice. They just describe PB as Lloyd's cheeky little sister, just like, you know, just there, little annoying, very curious. Yeah, okay.
I like how silly she is, but also how sarcastic she can be.
Thank you, PB. They're very graphic.
I ran out of red, so had to start using purple, but you get the idea.
She really is me.
When you've pupated, I'll show you the pictures.
Lauren Patel did a brilliant job voicing her. I love the performance.
Are you liquid yet?
Not yet, but the practice is paying off.
Yes!
You might be asking, Miss Anne, PB is in love with disgusting violent gore and fangirls at the mere mention and chances of death, and you think Abacus is the psychopath? And to that I say, shut up.
Oh, let me squeeze through the dangerous hole.
When the show was first airing, I was checking the website to learn more about the characters. I saw a guy who was described as Lloyd's enemy, likes to irritate and is very annoying. Safe to say, I had my eyes on him. I wanted to learn more about this smug Welsh fly.
Why wasn't I invited? I didn't want to. I mean...
Berry brings out the most of Lloyd's dumbassery. You know how I said Llerd must always be seen as right? Well, when you have a popular smug ass that steals your spotlight every time he's around, then the situations play out as you'd expect. Stuck in window, trapped in fridge, selling totally legit natural remedies that is by no means soggy bin juice.
I saw her fly toward the pen with Lloyd.
She's with Lloyd! Oh, I've got to save her!
Look at the sheer disappointment on PB's face when she hears Berry wasn't crushed violently in the fridge. There are times where you think Berry grows a conscience and might actually help Lloyd or do the right thing for once, but it just ends up being another ploy to make himself look better. Most of the time he exaggerates his achievements, but he's better at swaying people, and unlike Lloyd, he's charismatic and can charm. Things Lloyd wishes he could get away with. I love the episode where Llerd gets trapped in the window. The shit Berry does to piss him off while he's stuck is, so good. And then this happens.
Have you been giving yourself awards again?
What? They're mine! Huh? I deserve them! I rescued Lloyd! No one appreciates my award-worthiness!
Which makes you realise, oh okay, he's also insane.
The ghost of Uncle Ludwig haunts this mango!
And hey, despite being basically everything Lloyd wishes he was, Berry gets his just desserts too. Now why does Berry feel the need to prove that he's better than Lloyd so bad? He's already more well-liked and skilled. But every time he feels so inclined to prove himself, even showing off to Lloyd's own parents. You don't see Llerd doing that with his aunts.
I suppose Berry's probably pretty tired by now, so I'll beat you next time, Lloyd! Bye, Berry!
As far as funny arseholes go, he's cool. I definitely like his sass and how he's basically Lloyd but better. But I feel like PB and Abacus's presence are far stronger compared to his. What can I say? I still like him though.
Best comic I've ever read. Except for this Bori character. He's very smug and annoying.
I think he's quite a three-dimensional villain, actually.
Another tag-along is Cornea, a sweet and eccentric butterfly in her own world. I like her. She's fun and is relatively sane compared to the rest of them.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about Abacus. With a friend like Lloyd, this won't be the first life-threatening situation he's experienced.
Her main hobbies include yoga, weird songs, and making poison drinks that she offers the other bugs daily.
That's a harsh way to describe a perfectly lovely smoothie.
Fun fact, Cornea was originally going to be impaled with a hammer nail due to her tragic backstory of being a display bug, which is actually canon. Frankly, I think they should have kept it in.
Can't buy another big Owen pie in the butterfly collection.
Again? That would be terrible luck.
Lloyd's parents, Malcolm and Gina, are cool too. I don't have too much to say about them, but they definitely add to the show's humour.
Oh, we lose maggots all the time, Lloyd. Malcolm once lost... How many was it?
I don't like to talk about it. Never bring it up again.
I really enjoy the side characters in this show as well. Each of them, while having minor roles, add a lot of personality and make the world of the show feel really lived in. They're really funny as well. And I like how both the main and some of the side characters have their own continuities, despite the show being episodic.
When's the end of the world, Jim? How about tomorrow?
Is everything all right? We heard blood-curdling screams, so we thought we'd pop our heads round.
All the voice actors did an amazing job. Callum Scott Howell, Teresa Gallagher, Pearl Mackie, Rob Rackstraw, and the rest deserve all the praise. Oh yeah, they all live in the same house owned by Big O, as they like to call her, though we never get to see her face. Woman needs to clean up her house, Jesus Christ. This show was truly created by geniuses. The shit these guys say is so good due to its very sophisticated humour. We have death jokes galore, the many things that come out of PB's mouth, and what is essentially the bug equivalent of human trafficking.
I took a big risk getting this, so don't tell no one you got it from me. Okay, we're even now.
Even if I'm not a fan of every joke in the show, the great ones outweigh them by a long shot.
I like the steady inactivity of guard duty, punctuated by short, brutally violent battles.
Lloyd thought Buddy was an evil hypnotist who could only be defeated by noise.
Yeah, because originally it was pitched a bit older and then kind of, aged it down so the idea kind of became more family friendly than it originally had been.
Don't touch the corpse!
This show is written by the people, fellow artists and show enthusiasts. When the characters talk about those arachnofly comics, they talk like I do when I watch shows. And the way they talk about that mysterious Llerd comic, they mention stuff like 1-point perspective, amateur use of speech bubbles. It's like, these people really get me, you know?
Good job already know Arachnofly's origin story.
But they always find an extra layer of nuance in each retelling.
Oh, and we can't forget about the tie-in Arachnofly spin-off series. Oh yeah, you're not a true Llerd fan if you don't even engage with the supplementary material.
I like to imagine I'm Arachnofly's nemesis.
Birdbee.
Because you're evil?
Yes.
I like that this show uses real insect and bug facts. They feel like if actual real-life bugs could speak and live lives. And I've learned so many interesting things. Like how woodlice eat their own dead shedded skin. Caterpillars digest themselves into a liquid ooze while they chrysallize. Spiders inject juices inside their prey to make their insides liquid for easier eating. And how all the ants are girls because, Actually, I don't think you want to know about that last one and what they do with male ants.
I've been traumatised with spider facts.
This must mean the entire series must take place in like a day, considering their lifespans. And it is always daytime in the episodes. Now, despite being a comedy first, this show has its heartfelt moments, and these are the ones that stuck out to me. There's a character called Mr. Wiggly that I related to a lot. He's an old caterpillar that's putting off becoming a butterfly because he feels that once he grows up he can't have fun anymore. That's something I've felt a lot in my current stage of life, and I often feel ashamed for taking the types of things I'm interested in so seriously. But here we have a guy doing a fun performance aimed at maggots, aka children, but we have adults in the crowd enjoying it without a care in the world, because if it's fun, it's fun. We shouldn't let what others say take that away from us. And Lloyd came up with that nice speech to Mr. Wiggly about his anxieties on his own. It's one of the few times he does anything major on his own agency without Abacus being there. You know, without it being a complete disaster anyway.
You're right, Loganberry. It's time I stop wriggling and start flapping.
Another episode that struck me was The Long Walk. The duo were going to have a picnic, but Lloyd injures his wing and has to walk all the way home instead of flying. It seems like the usual Lloyd shenanigans at first, but it has this sense of ambient wonder to it. Maybe because no other characters are prominent. It's hard to explain, but watching those two sit and discuss their situation was different. It was sweet.
No sense of direction? No future? What are we going to do, Abacus?
Sometimes I find it helps to just sit and think for a moment.
Yeah, the final episode of the show was heartfelt, but I think we all knew that Lloyd wasn't really going to move. This one hits different.
What could be worse than this, Abacus? Lost and flightless?
I can think of a few things. Walked around all the garden before being shaken loose on the doormat with the mud.
Oh, you never told me about that.
It never came up.
You've had some real adventures, haven't you?
And the way it's shot certainly helps as well. I never thought a show like this would give me that feeling. It's definitely one of my favourite episodes.
Thank you, Abacus.
What for?
Getting me home, I guess. Today was an adventure.
Now it's production time. Fun fact, this show only exists because the creator came up with a funny pun title and decided to work on the rest later. Completely brilliant, and just proves that great ideas can spawn from anywhere. While Aardman was involved with Arthur Christmas and Flushed Away, this show was their first in-house 3D production, and it was actually originally going to be 2D, but then they switched it to 3D but with 2D backgrounds for budget reasons. The show was animated on 2s, so it sort of has this low frame rate stop motion-y feel to it, despite being 3D. It was mainly done for budget reasons, but I think it looks lovely. It's so vibrant and saturated with nice textures as well. They look like they could be real toy figures. And I like how all the winged characters move all jittery and all over the place like real bugs. The 2D elements are well incorporated as well, and the backgrounds are really nice. The character design in this show is really good. They managed to stylize the bugs in a way that's not completely grotesque and creepy, but not to the point that it's so cutesy that they don't even look like real insects. I think we can all agree that Abacus is peak character design.
Why would I not be around?
The music in this show feels distinctly its own. They actually sampled a lot of trinkets like cacti, plastic strappers, and even actual fly buzzons to use as percussion, and weird but fun synth sounds. I made this video not just to praise this show, because yes, it is really quality and deserves appreciation, but also to show light to the last CiTV original show that was on the channel. Because unfortunately, the channel has shut down after 40 years. It felt very spur of the moment, only being randomly announced 6 months in advance with no acknowledgement of the anniversary, look back, or even a goodbye message.
CiTV, happy 30th birthday to you. You don't look a day over 18.
Personally, I think they're just coping after losing Horrid Henry to Nicktoons. It sucks because I actually like the array of shows they had as well, especially that Smarty Pants show. But hey, even if the higher-ups at ITV don't care, the viewers that watched and grew up with the channel celebrated and acknowledged the happy memories they had watching it. I was surprised to see so many people reminisce on the channel on the day it closed. I didn't think that many people would care that much. It was nice. I just hope that the pop channels don't shut down next because I'll actually be so upset. Please stay. But back to the topic on Lloyd. It's a hilarious show. There's so many gold lines that I had to cut out for the sake of flow, and because ITVX is a pain in the ass to use. But there's so much, and I encourage you to watch it. The show's available in Australia, North America, France and Germany, and I hope it gets dubbed and released in other countries in the future. It's available online if you know where to look, but if it ever releases in your region, I encourage you to support it as much as you can too. Original concepts or TV animation are getting scarce, so we need to support the ones that get made. It will help us give them a reason to make season 2 as well. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, every comment on this video is an automatic sign into the Abacus dictatorship. Otherwise,
he'll never forgive you. I won't.